dark chocolate mousse, and here we go. Okay, first thing I'm starting with is I have my dark chocolate. It is 6 ounces exactly, and it is in a double boiler, and it's melting. Stir it a little bit. Make sure water doesn't run out. Very important. So you melt it. That's about as far as I want to go on there. So I have a half a cup of cream right here.
Heavy cream.
Heavy cream.
Not half and half and not milk.
Okay, I temper my chocolate. I'm adding it to it. I'm going to add it until I feel comfortable with it. That it's going to be the right texture that I want.
And you can see with the heavy cream, the constituency of the chocolate holds itself. You've still got the sheen. You've got exactly what you want.
Now, see that right there? That's what I want. I do not want to cook it anymore. I want that to be just like that. Why? It tempers the chocolate so that when I mix it in, it's going to be perfect. And I've been doing it this way for years. So, we'll be back in a minute with the rest. Right there, 3 egg whites. Alright, so there we go. I'm not going any more than that yet. Yet. So let's take a little bit of sugar. I don't use a lot of sugar in this. You can use twice as much sugar as I use. I don't care. If you like things sweet, we like to taste the dark chocolate. The chocolate is about 72% and it has some sugar in it. So I'm going to take about let's go totally about a tablespoon, add it to there, and I'm going to bring this up. I want it to be soft peak. I don't want it to go into a hard peak because it's going to be too hard to mix. So here we go. That's about where I want it. You lift it up.
You can see that it doesn't have any yellow left in it. It's white and fluffy, but it's still very pliable.
When I lift it up, you see it kind of folds over on itself. It's exactly what I'm looking for. We're going to the meringue. We're going to stop here, and then we're going to go with the whipped cream. We'll be right back. Now to the whipped cream. 1.5 cups heavy cream, and I'm going to add all of this. I'm using a mixing bowl that is really, really tall because I don't want it to go flying everywhere. And I'm going to start off on a low speed. Okay, see where that is about right there? It's about 1 minute, 2 minutes away. I want to stop it right there. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little tiny bit of salt. Tiny bit. I like salt in all my desserts. Not a lot, very little. I think we should have a little bit of vanilla.
I agree.
So I usually just dump a bunch of vanilla in. Why? Because I love vanilla. I'm going to start with a tablespoon right there. Oh, let's go 1.5 tablespoons. Sugar? Nah, I'm going to leave the sugar out of it. We're going to go with what we have. If I need more sugar, I can add a little bit more at the very end. And so here we go.
Beautiful.
Whipped cream is a soft peak, soft to medium. I do not want a hard peak on either the meringue or the whipped cream. So we're going to move that out of the way. Okay, the meringue. The meringue is going in. So here's the deal. So I'm going to put that in there. Most people are taught you take the chocolate, you add it to the meringue, you whip that first, then you whip the egg whites into it. I don't do that. I do it all three at the same time. The reason for that is I do it in about thirds, but I want all three at the same time because I don't want to over mix any of the components. So we're going to start with that.
Once again, when you're dealing with buoyancy and a little bit of heat, there's your chocolate. You've got air in both the cream and in the meringue.
So
and the trick here, you don't want to burst all of those bubbles. You want it to still have some buoyancy.
So I'm adding about a third to half, and I'm going to fold. Now folding means go up and over. You do not want to whisk for this because that's where you're going to break down the mousse. You want to just fold. So we're going to fold, we're going to go up and over. We're going to mix it, but we're not going to mix it completely yet. Okay, now I'm going to stop there. I'm going to add more whipped cream. But I'm not adding all the whipped cream because I want a little bit of that whipped cream.
You got to remember that garnish later on.
Exactly. So I'm going to hold back a little bit for that. Okay, now let's get the rest of my chocolate. You can see that there. You see how the chocolate's pretty pliable? Because adding the cream to begin with helped it out. Kept it from getting, even if it gets a little cool, which it has, it's not going to seize up. And we're going to fold it the rest of the way. Okay, so you're going around. You want it to be, you want the mousse to be creamy. You want it to be incorporated, just barely incorporated. You do not want to break it down. So once you get it to that point, you stop. So we're about there right now. You can see if it's not completely mixed together, it's close. We're going to taste it to make sure it's right. If it's not right, I'm going to adjust things. Chocolate flavor is wonderful. No more sugar. That was plenty of sugar because you can still taste the rich chocolate. It's sweet enough for me.
It's definitely sweet enough for me.
Exactly. So we're going to leave it there. And
I think it's just about perfect, sweetheart.
We're going to put this into cups and we're going to show you what it looks like.
It's got the sheen that you want. It's got a nice texture.
Now this is how we like to have them. So I'm going to tell you that when I do the recipe on the back, it's going to have the full amount of the sugar. And you can adjust it accordingly. So I used 1 tablespoon of sugar in it. For most people, they'd probably want to go with 2 tablespoons.
With some people, possibly 3. It really is. That's why it's important to taste it. After you've incorporated everything, you mix it around, give it a taste. Does it need anything else? If it does, that's the time to add it.
I would say if you had other types of glasses that were a little bit smaller, this would probably make a good 4 servings.
We've used highball glasses, we've used stemless wine glasses. It's all a matter of what you have on hand. And if you need to, just put it in a bowl.
So there we go. That's where we are at this point. Now these are going to go under refrigeration and are going to take, I'm going to cover them with plastic wrap very, very loosely. and it's going to take probably about 2 hours for it to set up, 2 to 4 hours depending on how set you want them. And then I'm going to show you the finished product after that. Now we're going to assemble. So I've got the remaining whipped cream right here, set up a little bit. This did not have any sugar put in it. The vanilla was put in it. I decided not to add sugar earlier, so we're just going to add a little bit of sugar because nobody wants whipped cream with 0 sugar in it. So we're going to mix that up a little bit. If you want to let it set for, oh, say like 5-10 minutes in the fridge to make sure that that's sugar that's a little bit crystallized, softens up a little bit. But I'm gonna, or not, if you like that, then that's all you need. It is about right there. Dark chocolate I have here, and I'm going to make curls. I already made a few here, but this is all I do. I just take a peeler and run it over there, and just get a little bit of chocolate on there so I can put it on top of the whipped cream, and there you go. Final product. I'm going to take these 3 that we have. I'm going to top it with some whipped cream. And that's what we have, is a dark chocolate mousse with fresh whipped cream, shaved chocolate, and fresh raspberries. So we're going to dig in, and Christine's going to show you what it looks like. You can see that it's nice and creamy. We have other desserts. If you want to look up to the right side of your screen, you'll see some other desserts up there that you can click onto and watch another video.
And more coming in the future.